friends. Welcome to It's a Ootsy Thing. Well, it's Wednesday, which means it's Connect Group night. And for those of you that are new, we have a Connect Group in our home every Wednesday night. I cook a meal, we eat, and then we have a Bible study. Well, today I've just been working away, getting ready, getting my house ready, and I had started cooking, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not recording. So I had to hurry and get my iPad out, and I'll have to do some backtracking and show you what I've done on some of the things. For tonight's supper, we're going to have Walking Taco Casserole. I'm going to fix a salad. I have queso already in the crock pot, and I'll tell you what I did on that. And then I'm making a blueberry lemon dump cake. And that's what I'm doing right now. I almost forgot to turn the camera on and show you what I was doing. If you hear my chimes in the background, I hope it's not too overpowering, but it is an absolutely gorgeous day here today. So I have my house all opened up and the windows open, my back patio. We have a screen door there, and so I opened it up, and that's where my chime is, and I just love listening to my chime. So there's just a little breeze, and it's just beautiful. So if you like chimes, you will get to hear the chime in the background. I'm really wanting to go back to Branson. That's where I got this one, and get another one, but I want one of those great big ones, you know, if you've ever seen those. Oh, I just love them. Okay, I'm going to tap this, so excuse me for just a second. I will mute it so you all don't hear me tapping. Okay, that's done. I know that tapping seems a little loud on the video, and people let me know that that's annoying. So I accommodate. Now that I have 2 cans of blueberry pie filling in my prepared 9x13 dish, this is so easy. You have 2 cans of blueberry pie filling. Then I'm going to take just a tiny bit of cinnamon and stir all of that in. Now, you may think putting cinnamon in there seems a bit strange. It just kind of gives it an extra warm flavor, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But it just adds a little bit. It's kind of like when you put almond flavoring in cherry pie filling when you're going to make a cherry pie. Adding that almond flavoring just takes it to another level, and people just love it. So that's kind of what the cinnamon does to the blueberry pie filling. Now that I have my blueberry pie filling in my prepared pan, I'm going to take a lemon cake mix, and this is probably the first time you've ever seen me use a box cake. That is not something that you will see me using too often. But because it's a dump cake, that's what I'm doing. I could make this from scratch, but I don't know. I just decided to use the cake mix. I'm just going to evenly spread this cake mix all over that blueberry pie filling. And I'm just going to take a fork and make sure it's all even over everything being covered. Okay, I'm not stirring, I'm just making sure that that cake mix is all even. Now that I've done that, I've taken about 3/4 cup of butter and I melted it, and I'm just going to go over the whole cake with this melted butter. I'm just going to make sure that every part of the cake is covered with that butter. And it's going to spread out a little bit as it bakes. Now, when you do a dump cake, they don't tell you to do this. As a matter of fact, they say do not stir. I'm not stirring at all. It just seems like that if you don't spread that butter out, that there are some places of the cake mix that doesn't get the butter and it doesn't bake. But this looks like it is distributed pretty evenly. Now I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven. Did you hear my oven just tell me that it's ready? I'm going to put it in for about 45 minutes. Now we're ready to put our Walking Taco Casserole together. What I did off camera was fry 2 pounds of hamburger meat with about 1 cup of chopped onion. That is all done. I drained the grease off of my meat. Now I'm going to add 1 can of enchilada sauce. I do the mild sauce. For one thing, I don't like stuff real hot, but the other thing is, since I'm feeding a crowd of people, you never know if hot stuff does not sit well with some people. So I just like to always stick with mild. Now that I have that stirred together, I'm going to take 1 can of green chilies. This is the little can that's the 4-ounce. I'm going to put this can in with my meat and stir that all together. Now I'm going to add 2 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm just going to cut this up in little pieces because I want this to melt. So I'm going to turn my heat on just a little bit so I can get that cream cheese to melting. While that cream cheese is melting, I will tell you what I did on my queso. I used about 1/2 of a block of Velveeta, the big container Velveeta. I used 2 ounces of cream cheese, 1 block of Colby Jack, not Colby Jack, Pepper Jack, 1 can of tomatoes and green chilies, and then I poured just a little bit of milk in it to keep it smooth, creamy, and it not get too thick. I will watch this. If it does start to get a little bit too thick, I'll add just a little bit more milk. It looks like my cream cheese has completely melted, and it just looks yummy, smells yummy. And we are ready to put this together. Okay, we're ready to put our Walking Taco Casserole together. first thing you do is lay down some Fritos. Now you can use Doritos if you wanted to, but I like Fritos. I'm not getting my words together right today. On top of that, I'm going to put a layer of meat. On top of that, I'm going to put some shredded cheese. And now I'm just going to repeat the process until I'm out of meat. I could have probably made 2 layers out of this, but I've got enough chips that I think I want to go ahead and, oops, guess what I forgot? The cheese. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to do 3 layers. I saved out enough meat that I can do 3 layers. Let's try this again. It's kind of like the other day, one of the recipes that I did and videoed. I fried up onion and celery and forgot to put it in. But I caught it just enough time. Just before putting it in the oven, and I was able to get it added. Okay. Top that off with cheese, and this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. One thing I forgot to mention, oh, I've got water on me. Sorry about that. One thing I forgot to mention that I'm also making is guacamole. And so that's what I'm putting together now. When I was at the grocery store, there was a Hispanic man behind me. He happened to be a customer of mine when I had my flower shop, and the cashier was talking to me about the avocados, and she said, I just like my customers to know for sure that the avocados are $2.99 a piece and not $2.99 a pound. And I said, well, I'm entertaining tonight, so I need them, so I'm going to take them. The gentleman that was behind me, he said, oh yes, you have to have guacamole. Guacamole is a must. And I said, okay, I'll take your word for it. And she had already rung up my other stuff, and I said, I'm not going to back out now. The avocados was the last thing that she rang up. And so he told me, he said, now if you will add some lettuce or cabbage chopped up real thin into your guacamole, he said you'll never know that it's there, but it gives it a good flavor and it stretches it further. I said I had no idea. I'd never heard of that. So, I might have to try that sometime. I've got a stem in here, and I don't want that in there. That's what I'm hunting for. Anyway, I bought 4 avocados because I did not know really how many I needed, because I eyeball everything. And so I thought, well, I'll know once I get all the avocados cut up, or a few of them cut up, I'll know what I need. So that's what I'm doing right now, is chopping up all the avocados into very little pieces so that I can mash it up. I do wash all of my fruits and vegetables before I use them and cut into them. I soak them in water and vinegar in my sink. This cleans them very well, gets off any particles that shouldn't be on there. All of the avocados seem to be pretty nice. There was one of them that was just a tiny bit hard. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely harder than the others. You just never know on avocados, you know, whenever you're wanting them for like a special event like this. And it was kind of a last minute thing. Whenever I was in the grocery store, I hadn't put this on my menu, but I saw the avocados and they looked nice. So I thought, we'll have guacamole with our Mexican dish. Okay, I'm saving these last 2 seeds. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I'll tell you why. Trust the process. I'll tell you why in a little bit. I decided to go ahead and do all 4 of the avocados. It's probably more than we need, but Michael and I love guacamole. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, I used to didn't like it, or didn't think I did. I'd never tasted it, but just by the looks of it, I had decided I didn't like it. So, I wouldn't eat it. And one time Michael said, when we had gone to a Mexican restaurant, he said, just try it. Just try it one time. This bowl is just a little bit small to be mixing this in, so I'm going to transfer to a larger bowl, then I can always put it back in here. Anyway, he said, just try it. One time, give it a try. Well, I had to practice what I preach, and like I tell my grandkids, just try it so you can see. So anyway, I tried it and I've not been able to stop eating it. I just thought, what have I been missing out on all this time? Anyway, I really, really do like it, and on occasion I will make it. With them being so expensive right now, I don't make it too often at all. But I'm just going to mash this up really, really good. Then I'll add my other ingredients. Now, what I do not put in my guacamole is cilantro. Yeah, I carry that gene that cilantro tastes like soap. Google it, it's a thing, because I did. When I would eat guacamole or something that had cilantro in it at a Mexican restaurant, I would just think, what is this taste? Why am I tasting soap? And I had gone to a cooking class, and they were making something that had cilantro in it. And the lady teaching the class, she said, how many of you, whenever you eat cilantro, it tastes like soap? And I said, I do. It tastes like soap. She said, you carry the gene that makes it taste like soap. I didn't know it was a thing. As a matter of fact, I thought she was kind of crazy. So, when I came home, this has been several years ago, probably 10 years ago. Anyway, could be longer. So, when I got home, I thought, I gotta check this out. So I Googled it, and sure enough, it's a thing. And ever since then, if I mention it, some people will say, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, there you have it. If you don't like cilantro, that's why. You carry that gene. We're so special, aren't we? Okay. Now I'm going to start adding the goodies. And I'm smelling that blueberry lemon dump cake, and it's smelling so wonderful. Okay, I've chopped up an onion here, and let's see here. I'm going to put in, I'm going to say about a cup of chopped onion. You know, once you get these avocados chopped up, it doesn't come out to be as much as you think it should, but I think it'll be enough. Now I'm going to cut up a couple of tomatoes, chop them really, really thin. Now I do cut some of that center out of the tomatoes just so that it won't make the guacamole real watery. Okay, I used 2 tomatoes. I've got my cup of onion, 4 avocados, putting the juice of a lime. This makes me want a cherry limeade. Okay, now that I've stirred the lime in, I'm going to salt and pepper it really good. Stir my salt and pepper in. I'm going to give it a taste. Oh, it's so good. Tastes just as good as a Mexican restaurant. Okay, now I'm going to put it in my dish. I've got it all done. And now for the 2 seeds that I saved, I'm going to stick those way down in there. A friend taught me this trick. That keeps your guacamole from turning brown so quick. Because they will turn brown, but it keeps it from doing it so fast. Now I'm going to put some plastic wrap over it because I don't want any air to get to it. I want it to stay pretty at least for tonight. Then I'm going to put the lid on this and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it sit there till we're ready to eat this evening. Doesn't that look delicious? Now I'm going to get the rest of my vegetables and fruit cut up for the lettuce salad and the stuff for them to top on the casserole. And then I usually try to have some fruit along with the dessert. But today, this isn't always at the grocery store, but today when I went to the grocery store, they had my favorite grapes. If you have never had these and you see them, you've got to try them. They're cotton candy green grapes. I'm telling you what, y'all, they're a little expensive. I'm sorry, but I could sit down and eat an entire bag in one sitting. They are so delicious. I don't even like to eat regular green grapes anymore after having these. They are just, they taste like cotton candy. So if you ever see cotton candy green grapes, grab you some. They're delicious. Looks like everything's ready to go. Our casserole is done, and this is our setup. I do buffet style. I'll set the casserole on the stove top. We've got queso, our guacamole that we made, and here is our salad bar. We have drinks. I always have fruit, and then our blueberry Dumpcake. I'm glad you all joined me today for What's for Supper. It's really an easy meal. You wouldn't have to do all of this extra stuff if you didn't want to for your family. But the taco casserole, the Walking Taco Casserole, is really easy to make. And if you wanted to have queso with it and some chips, it would be perfect. So y'all give it a try. Let me know what you think. And as always, enjoy your meal. We'll see you next time.